Hi. Welcome back to another episode on the Healthy Wisdom series with Dr. Jen Chen. Today, we're going to bring all the ideas together that we've introduced in the Words of Wisdom series and bring it into a full circle. So, let's talk a little bit about something that was on my mind the other day. And it's actually a question that I've asked myself from time to time, actually, more often than not. And it's, what are you saying to yourself? And is that voice inside that you hear saying something helpful or something hurtful? Now, a lot of times we don't really pay attention to the words that we say to ourselves because we are so busy judging what it is that we're saying. So if we take the time to just step back from a more objective perspective and almost in some ways view from an outsider's point of view and think about what it is that we actually say to ourselves on a day-to-day basis, that is the perspective that I think everybody can gain a lot of insight from. So here's the thing. Words can make or break us, right? And sometimes we have to make a choice. And that choice can be to either have the words carry us through during those challenging, tough times. And we have to actually be very cognizant about what words we actually choose to say to ourselves. So, for example, something that I've actually really found very useful is, sometimes, when you're feeling like really doubtful about yourself and you go, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Sometimes if you just say, I can do it. I can do it. I will do it. And I'm gonna do it regardless, no matter what of the outcomes may be. If I fail, I'm gonna learn something from it. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes you almost have to kind of like push yourself a little bit, especially when, you just don't feel quite right sometimes, or like you're just lacking a little bit of that confidence. So I can is it's a really powerful two-word combo. I absolutely love the I cans. And I want you to also think about the times, when you've told yourself, I can't, but I must, you know? So I must is also a very powerful combination. I must sometimes, kind of makes you dig a little deeper into yourself and sort of like, I guess, uncover, a more purposeful reason as to why you must accomplish something or you must achieve something. For some people, I must get through, this exam in order for me to be able to move forward and go for that degree, that diploma, that certificate, that career, that position, that family, that relationship. You know, Sometimes, there are certain things that you just don't find yourself, in that situation. And so I always say, you do have to watch what you say to yourself, right? Because if you end up saying instead of I must, I can, and you say, well, I can't, I don't, I don't have the ability. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the skills, like then you go down the rabbit hole and you start going, just unraveling, in all way, shape, or form. So one of the key concepts is watch what it is that you say to yourself, right? So that's the first step that I find is something that, can really make or break you because in your thinking, right, your thoughts, you're actually using words as almost like a medium to to actually convey an idea or a goal or a perspective or or yeah, practically like a thought that you have actually, started to, I guess, uh, build in your head, right? So in your whatever words that you say, basically your brain perceives that, and it's going to put that into kind of working mode. And what your mind does is then it turns it into an image or a vision. And eventually, with the two of them working side by side, it becomes reality. So very, very, be very, very careful as to what you say to yourself and what you say about whatever it is that you want to do or accomplish or see, happen in your future. So the second thing that I wanted to kind of allude to is, if you've kind of, started to, watch what you say to yourself, then you kind of become really aware of the different, I guess, mannerisms that you generally will have on a regular basis. And so you also want to then hone in on your choices of these words. So you got to choose wisely. And you gotta use words that are actually more uplifting and empowering so that you actually will head into that direction, right? So the thoughts are then facilitated by the words. And so if we then also make sure that we choose wisely what we want to see happen and use words that are actually empowering and facilitate, the direction in which you want to go, then those words then become a medium for you to actually drive things forward. Okay, so choosing wisely becomes your next sort of a stepping stone if you want to, um, continue to advance in that direction. So think about these words, okay? Just try to see, what images kind of come to mind when I say these words. Win, fight, thrive, prosper, rise, and brave. Think how these words actually all elicit that emotional aspect of yourself that kind of pushes you forward inch by inch, and it makes you improve upon yourself, and even if you're not where you want to be at, these are all words that are really empowering, and they kind of, sort of enable us to kind of like almost uh, almost get a little bit extra oomph in there so that we can actually go towards, what it is that we want to accomplish, right? So compare those words with lose, defeat, fall, failure. Do you notice how these words are all kind of negative in connotation, and they almost kind of bring the energy down? So that's just like a little comparison that, gives you an idea sort of what are the images that are elicited, right? And so therefore, whenever you choose a word or a set of words that you are conveying an idea for, choose wisely because it will determine the direction of where your thoughts go. And where your focus goes, your energy will then start focusing and flowing into that direction, right? So your brain is a very important tool that you want to use to your advantage and not, let it just kind of take the reins and, you go down the whole like rabbit hole of like the negative, sort of like the direction that just keeps going and going and going, but not in the right direction that you want to go. And so if you do say to yourself, I choose to do this or do that or whatever, I find that then you're actually taking matters into your own hands, and you're not just letting, your thoughts decide, which sometimes, because we tend to get into the mode of like judging ourselves and constantly just, you know, just just go in, like monkey minding, in circles about, well, like, I'm such a failure. I can never do this right. What I used to actually say to myself all the time is, oh, I'm such an idiot, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I say that once in a while, I still catch myself saying that, I'd be like, oh, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I forgot, blah, 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 right? So that's something that, kind of reinforces in yourself that, like, I mean, I know I'm not an idiot, but the fact that I say that, I sometimes do kind of feel like, oh, why am I such an idiot? It's like it almost becomes a habit that I've actually programmed myself to say. And so you want to try to break that habit and that pattern as much as you can, because the more you say it, the more it becomes reality for you, right? And that's just Mother Nature. That's just biology. Like, it just is what it is. Like, well, I mean, I don't even know how else to kind of tell you, but that's exactly what it does. It basically kind of then just becomes a part of your truth, which is not true, right? It's like it becomes a truth that isn't true. That's very counterintuitive, but there's a little play in the mind there that happens, and I bet you, like, we all do it in the little things, in the big things, in the, hopefully not as much on the big things, but we definitely do get on ourselves quite a bit on that. And last but not least, if you've watched yourself and watched what you say to yourself, and then you are consciously choosing to use words that are actually going to be more positive and uplifting, you must then allow your actions to then take on those words that you have been very conscientious about choosing. And that's because when you have that ability and you've decided or you've declared to yourself what it is that you want or you want to do, or you want to be, then your words actually dictate that to your brain and starts the wheels going. So the wheels go in motion for what it is that you've said. Like, for example, I want to be a great mother. Your brain then goes to, the list of, okay, well, what do you define as a great mother? For example, you listen to your kids when they're trying to express something to you. You listen to them patiently. You listen to them with an open mind. You actually interact with them. You take care of them. You love them. You treat them like they are a top priority. You think about their well-being, so there's like a whole list of stuff that your brain then goes down, boom, 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 boom. And then what your mind does is it then goes, okay, what does that look like, right? What does that great mother look like? And then, so I'm literally going into like a bing, 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 bing version of what it is, sort of the process. It's a very simple process, but because we can instantaneously through like milliseconds be able to do this. But when you